Can this world avoid a climate catastrophe? It will depend on two things: how much energy we consume and how much of that results in the emission of carbon dioxide and other gases that change the climate. I'll show you how it is today. The high-income countries up here, they use 6 units of fossil fuel per 1 billion of people. The upper middle-income countries just use 2. And the lower middle-income countries just use 1 unit per 1 billion people. And the poorest people here use very little fossil fuel. So the problem is not that 1 or 2 billions will be added here because they use so little. The problem is when these many billions will move up the income ladder. If that means that they will hit a practice like this, then the climate will change very fast and dramatically. So it's these countries that have to change. And how do they have to change? Well, it's quite straightforward. They have to be more efficient and use energy more efficient so they can reduce the use of fossil fuel. And then replace it with green energy. And then be more efficient and replace the next one. And then perhaps be even more efficient. So quite soon they can be down here, and the extra energy consumption is done from renewable sources that doesn't change the climate. Then these countries, when they move upwards, they will also be able to adapt the new technology. This is not yet happening. The changes we are seeing today are too slow. When you sit down and count, it's not enough. The polar ice is now disappearing as a first sign of dramatic climate change. That is not the problem. It's just a problem for the ice bear, the polar bear. But for the rest of the world, the problem will come dramatically if climate change continues. So it's better that these richer countries will continue. And most probably the one who have the new sustainable energy will be the winner also in the economic game and maybe in the political power.
There are now almost 7 billion people on the planet. As the world's population has been steadily increasing, the ecological footprint of humanity has started to have drastic effects on the environment.
Capitalism has not been addressing environmental issues at all, and so it's just been running rampant over them and creating a lot of problems.
But in the wake of the climate crisis, an increased focus on sustainability has emerged. Brands, institutions, governments and consumers are more focused on environmental issues.
We've actually managed to reduce smog. We've actually managed to reduce acid rain. We've actually managed to clean up certain bodies of water. Much of that was done through regulation and mandate.
Companies need to be adaptive, they need to be responsive, they need to engage with their stakeholders. They need to look at the trends that are emerging in society, look at the preferences that people have, price and quality and service, as well as the newer preferences for products that people feel good about.
Consumers have started to actively look for environmentally friendly products. This in turn has changed the way that brands prioritize.
Now, most customers are not going to go into an IKEA store and be centrally concerned with the labor practices around this and that particular product there. But some consumers, a small percentage, are going to be very concerned about that. And they are going to create social perceptions around the brand that are either positive or negative.
There is also an increasing demand for businesses to include social issues, such as fair trade, corporate social responsibility, and working conditions in their sustainability policies.
Consumers are able to be concerned about more things when they buy products than they have been able to be before. They expect companies to be socially responsible now in that. They won't pay much more for it. They'll pay a little bit more perhaps, and a few consumers will pay a lot more. But for the most part, they expect companies to be behaving in a socially responsible manner.
The focus on sustainability is now affecting all stages of a product's life cycle, from design and production to transportation and sales, but to an increasing extent also taking usage and eventually recycling into consideration.
Computer tools are getting better and better, where you can very precisely model exactly how much weight something would hold.
An environmentally friendly product can also be a very high quality and affordable product. What will happen then is that will just become the standard.
Because you're buying less material and shipping less weight, it's saving you money as well.
As climate change is a global issue, the solution will have to be international and include efforts from policymakers and brands, as well as from the individual consumers.
But the goal is for basically for the really rich countries to keep their happy standard of living and reduce their ecological impacts, and for the poor countries to keep their good ecological impacts and raise their standard of living. So we're both trying to get to the same place.